I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is a review for my good friend Efrey, who sent in a PayPal request. I really appreciate it, not only for being a dear friend, but thank you for your friendship for all these years, and thank you for the request. I really appreciate that. If anyone's ever interested in requesting reviews or re-reviews or commentaries or movie topics, you'd either join me on my Patreon or you could do it directly via my PayPal. But the review for today is for The Mechanic Resurrection. Now, I barely remember the Charles Bronson Mechanic film. I remember not being big on it. I did not care for the 2011 Jason Statham Mechanic. I get that you're not supposed to like the Jason Statham character, but I didn't like him. I don't know how to put it. I didn't care for his character status. I didn't care for the choices the character made. I don't know if the movie was trying to make us like him. That's the thing. I don't know if we're supposed to hate or like the character. I don't know. If it was trying to make us like him, it failed. If it tries to make us hate him, okay, but then I don't care about him overcoming Ben Foster's character. That film wasn't for me. A lot of people liked the movie. It wasn't for me. This one, on the other hand, really, they didn't even have to call this Mechanic. They could have just called this any other title. They could have just called it Blank Resurrection, or it could be any title. Just this, to me, is pretty much 90 minutes of Jason Statham beating the shit out of or killing motherfuckers. The movie. Currently, Force Vengeance with Chuck Norris. That's 90 minutes of Chuck Norris beating the shit out of people. The equivalent of Force Vengeance is this one for Jason Statham, The Mechanic Resurrection. Because his character, it's almost as if someone, whether it be the writer or the directors, they realized that the 2011 film, how unlikable that character was. 2010 or 11, I forget what year that was. Was it 2010? I can't remember. They realized, oh, that character kind of sucks and we don't like him. And they made the character more likable in this, where they gave him a little bit of a backstory, and they gave him a little bit more principles, a little bit more of a morality, a little bit more of values. And it's a very basic plot. He gets to this island. He wants to live the good life. Meets up with an old friend, Michelle Yeoh. Sadly, she's not in the film too much, but it was nice to see her in there, from Super Cop and many others. One day, sees Jessica Alba getting the shit kicked out from her boyfriend, helps her out, realizes she's with the bad guys and trying to screw them over, but at the same time, she's not. She was being used because she runs a shelter, and the bad guys threatened the shelter, and she had to do this, but she does tell them the truth, and they have a little bit of lovey-dovey thing going on, and then pretty much the bad guys kidnap her, and they tell Jason Statham, you need to do these 3 assassinations and make them look like accidents. And the 3 people he's supposed to kill are 3, at least, especially the first 2, are scum suckers. One, I think each of them deal with like sex slave rings and including underage folks, just vile people. So I guess they did that so that it makes it easier for us to swallow that Statham's going to kill these people. And if you don't do it, we'll kill Jessica Alba. Like I said, it's a very basic, run-of-the-mill plot, but it was fast-paced. It was fun. There's a ton of action. I like that they made Jason. People may disagree, and they like the first one more, and they'll view it as a more three-dimensional, gray area, anti-hero type of character. I just prefer the way it was done here. To me, it made it easier for me. Well, you're not supposed to like them. Well, then different shows, different folks. I preferred to like the character. And I thought, in my opinion, it was handled better in this. And from the very beginning, where he's trying to have dinner and these people are messing with him, and he says, "Tell your boss, don't fuck with the dad." And he slams this girl's head up the table, and he burns a guy's face. He stabs a guy into another guy's back. And I thought the action scenes were handled well. The fight scenes were handled well. Statham, I guess at this point, he had done a lot of supporting roles in the Expendables sequels and Spy and Fast and Furious, was it 7 at this point? He wanted to do a starring role. So maybe he's like, hey, I want to do this for the fans. I just want to do a movie in the vein of The Transporter or Transporter 2. Just be kicking a lot of ass for 90 minutes, killing a lot of motherfuckers in 90 minutes. And that's what we got. And sometimes that's what I want in a movie. Sometimes that's what I want in an escapism popcorn action film. Yes, it's a very basic plot. Jessica Alba, I don't think she was that bad in it. She was fine. Michelle Yeoh, wish she was in the film more. A little bit she was in, she was good. The villain, can't remember much about him. Didn't like him, didn't hate him. Wasn't memorable, sadly. Maybe that's one flaw I can say. Have someone, either someone with a more personality or just an established name. Nothing wrong with having an established name for Jason to go after. Whether it be someone that could be his physical equal. Hell, it could be a Scott Adkins. It could be a Michael Jai White. It could be even any names that you guys could pop out of your heads. Or, I don't know, those popped in my head. Or it doesn't have to be martial arts. It could be an other established actor. But other than that, I liked when he's doing the assassinations. I thought they were intriguing. The first one, he has to go into a prison and make this look like an accident. Made it look like the guy overdosed or something. The second one, which is in all the trailers, where you have the guy... If you're rich enough to have a swimming pool, don't have a swimming pool that goes outside the fucking building that many floors up. You're just asking for trouble. You're just asking for shits and giggles of trouble. Again, you have a tall-ass building, you're rich, don't have a swimming pool that goes to the fucking outside. Because Jason Statham goes in and blows a hole in, the guy goes down like a fucking swirling down a toilet. Oh. Tommy Lee Jones is in this. Sadly, he's not in it much. I mean, 5 minutes at most, maybe 7 minutes at most. He appears a little bit where Jason Statham sees him, and then about 2 more times. But yeah, I mean, there's times where he gets on the boat to rescue Jessica Alba, and he's kicking ass, taking names, fucking up with silent pistols, shooting people in the necks, big body count. Or there's a part with the submarine where he sets all these traps. He sets up a machine gun trap or grenade traps, or he throws a guy into a little pool with a grenade and the guy fucking blows up. I mean, it just... This is the kind of movie I would see back in the day with PM Entertainment or that site, where They knew what they were doing. They just want a movie. They just want a plot that's a flimsy plot that's just an excuse to have Jason Statham kick a lot of ass and have a big body count, kill people for 80, 90 minutes. Okay, we got a little bit of love story with Jessica Alba, but it doesn't take too long. Doesn't slow things down too much. We got Tommy Lee Jones, cool to see him in there. Sadly, I wish his part was bigger. Just like I wish Michelle Yeoh's part was bigger. The villain, yeah, I would have picked someone else as the villain or give him a bit more personality or a bit more memorable stuff to say or do. Put, I don't know, whether it be Keanu Reeves or I bet you Michael J. White or Scott Adkins or Jean-Claude Van Damme or anybody else in there. That would have been cool. Again, when he has the first two assassinations, I thought they were interesting to see how he's going to do this and how he tried to make this look like an accident. It starts out with a bang, it ends with a bang. I mean, Mechanic Resurrection is really a straight, on the narrow, ass kickery of Statham kicking ass, taking names. Maybe people won't like it because it doesn't have... Maybe they want a bit more to their story, a bit more twists and turns of their plot, a bit more originality. Although I think some of the assassination is a little bit original, but you get what I mean. That they want something intriguing, original with the plot, the story. But sometimes I do want to sit back and see something harmless. I know that's a weird way of describing it. Sometimes I want to sit back and eat a cheeseburger. I might have had the cheeseburger 100 times before. I know what I'm getting myself in for. And that might not be good for me. But I just want to sit back and have the cheeseburger. So I just sit back and have the fucking cheeseburger. Yeah. Sometimes, nothing wrong with that. And this is one of those instances, in my opinion, where a sequel completely outshines the original. Because I never would have thought, well, I don't like the first one, so why do I give a shit about the sequel? But I never would have thought that the sequel would be that much better. Just so, how many times, it's very rare how many times you have a first movie that's horrible, but then you have a second movie that's great. I'm talking about a movie that you don't like at all. I mean, the other example I can mention is The Purge Anarchy, because I don't like the first Purge, but the second one is the best of all those films. And to me, the only truly good one. The Purge Anarchy with Frank Grillo. I'm trying to think of other movies where the first one is absolutely awful, but the second one I enjoy. I mean, there's sequels I like better than the original, but I'm talking, again, I'm not going with that. I'm going like, the first one is dog shit. The second one, I like. I'm sure there's other examples, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Hey, that'd be something for you guys. What examples do you have of movies that the first one you hate? Not, oh, you thought it was okay, or it was decent, or it was, no, I mean that you hated. But the second film, oh, it was really good. If you have any examples, feel free to share them in the comments section. But yeah, Mechanic Resurrection to me is a much, much better movie than the first one. Yeah, pretty much 90 minutes of Jason Statham kicking ass or killing motherfuckers. To me, not a bad way to relax and be entertained for an afternoon. But maybe that's just me. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.